Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I make it's called a meat salad. That sounds kind of weird, but it's really yummy. I know a lot of people are doing like a keto, low carb, high protein diet, and I've been eating this for a very long time. I've probably been making this about 10 years. I found this recipe a long while back when I was doing the low carb, and I make it very often. This does have to be made like for overnight. It needs to sit overnight so it tastes really yummy because it's got to have all the flavors, but I like to prepare on the weekend so I can have it throughout the week to eat. So it's just a bunch of cutting up is what it is, okay? So we're gonna have, I like to use the Applegate. It has no antibiotics or anything like, but I've said it 100 times, you do you. If there's a certain ham that you like, get the ham you like, okay? This is oven roasted turkey, so you need a ham and a turkey, a green pepper, onion, couple pickles, some provolone cheese. I would not get this smoked. I don't think that would be yummy in this recipe. Some provolone, some Swiss cheese, olive oil, and I like the Bragg's apple cider vinegar, okay? Sometimes I have used Italian dressing on top of it as well, but this is really what I really prefer is the olive oil and vinegar. So this is basically like the inside of an Italian sandwich, basically without the bread. Okay, so it's just a bunch of protein and some vegetables, so it's really yummy, but it does have to sit overnight. If you don't want to just eat it this way, they do now make these carb balance wraps. It has 19 carbs, but 15 fibers, so that's only 4 net carbs. You take all this filling and wrap it up in a carb wrap. It would be absolutely delicious. So I'll show you how to do this. So here's a list of ingredients you're gonna need to make this. Okay, so it's basically just a bunch of cutting ups. So I'm just gonna cut up all of this. I'm gonna cut everything up into like strips, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna use the whole package of ham and turkey. I'm gonna use all this stuff. So I just cut it up in strips. Okay, kind of just cut it sideways so it's all in strips. Okay, so we're just gonna throw this in a bowl, and then we're gonna just mix it all up, all of our ingredients, okay? And like I said, this is just like an inside of an Italian sandwich. So if you don't want to do low carb or anything like that, just make this, and then you can fill a bunch of sub rolls up and make some really yummy Italian sandwiches. Okay, so now we're gonna do this with the ham. Same thing. You don't really have to break it up too much, just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the same thing with the provolone cheese, cut it up exactly the same way. I just kind of leave it just like that and then just start cutting it. The provolone and Swiss are the reasons why we use this in here, because it sits over, you can eat this for the next like 3 days. And this cheese is kind of more of a waxy cheese, like a cheddar cheese or anything like that. It would not hold up well in this because we're gonna add vinegar and olive oil. Like I said, I will eat this for like next 3 days. Okay. And this is a pound of Swiss cheese. Do not use a pound of Swiss cheese. Just use as much as you think you need. I'm gonna use probably about this much. Okay. I love Swiss cheese, it's one of my favorite. And I try to cut it up like everything else if I can. I mean, you don't have to be that picky about it, but. And then just cut it up in strips like you had the provolone. Okay. pickles here. Try to cut those up just the same way, so everything is kind of like the same uniform. Sorry if this video is boring of me cutting, but the end result, I think a lot of you will really like it. Now green pepper. Easy way to cut a green pepper, cut the bottom, cut the top. See? I'll move my bowl. I'm gonna cut the side like this, and then just kind of slide your knife down and around, and it gets all your stuff out. Most of it. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing, get all the seeds out. And I'm going to cut it sideways, just like everything else. And cut it the fleshy side, because it's hard to cut through the top part. So cut the fleshy side like that. Pick the other things you like in there. I think some people like to put like black olives in there. I don't know what else you would put in, but maybe black olives, Spanish olives, even green olives would be yummy. Okay. Like I said, you can make this up the day before. You can bring this to lunch. I'm having a hard time with this green pepper. Okay. But let it sit overnight because you want all the flavors to incorporate. Probably red pepper, yellow pepper would be really fine in here as well. I just usually pick green because I like green peppers. Just make sure whatever you're using is something that will hold up for like 3 days so it doesn't like disintegrate. And onion. I feel like you really want the onion for the flavor. I'm only going to use a half. I'm going to try to cut it. Here's this side. I cut them quite thin because the olive oil and the vinegar will really soften these vegetables down. They're not going to taste like raw. I'm just going to break them up a little bit before I put them in there. Okay. So there's that. So you have your whole bowl. And now, I don't ever usually measure how much olive oil and apple cider vinegar, but I feel like I use probably about 1/4 cup. So that's what we're going to do today, just to give you an idea of how much you want on here. So you're just going to pour that over the top. Olive oil. Apple cider vinegar, you kind of should mix it up so you can get all the little stuff on the bottom. 1/4 cup of this. Like I said, if you aren't crazy about this, do a 1/2 cup of Italian dressing. Make sure it's like a low fat or something. I mean, well, that's up to you, whatever you want to do. So we're just going to mix this all up. Okay. Make sure everybody gets lots of juice. I love the smell of vinegar. I have no idea why, but it just smells so good. Okay, and then I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. So I just take a container and I fill it up, all of my stuff. And I let this sit overnight and then I eat it. This will last like about a good 3 days in the refrigerator. I will eat it all within 3 days. I mean, there's nothing bad about it at all. So just a bunch of meat and vegetables, lots of protein. And if there's any juice left, just pour it on top. Okay. There. Meat salad for the next 3 days. Hope you try it. It's really yummy. Thanks, guys. See ya.